what's up, y'all? It's your girl Amari, the realtor, and I'm here at my first time home buyers seminar with my affiliated partner Paige with Bank South. And I just want to go over a few things with you to understand why you should have a buyer's agent when you're looking to buy real estate. I want you to know that there's a difference between an agent or a real estate agent and a realtor. There is a licensed real estate agent who is a member of the National Realtors Association. A realtor helps people buy, sell, or rent properties and are expected to follow the National Association codes of ethics. So we have to actually take classes and pay dues in order to be a realtor. So if someone is actually telling you that they are a realtor, just know that they're held to a different code of ethics than a regular seller. The reason why you should hire a realtor to assist you with all of your real estate needs is because of the market knowledge. We work with different people and we study the market day in and day out to understand the different changes, to educate you and let you know what you should not take from the media or what is put out. Agents have deep understanding of the local markets, including neighborhood trends, property values, and the overall housing market. This can help you make informed decisions when buying. The reason why you should hire a realtor is because we have expertise in negotiation. Experienced agents are skilled negotiators and can help you get the best deal possible. We understand the tactics and strategies used to achieve favorable terms, whether at the time of the offer or to address any issues that may come along during the contract phase. Another reason why you should hire a realtor to assist you with your buying needs is because we have access to listings. Agents have access to a wide range of properties, including those that are not listed as of yet or in a public database. This can give you a more broader selection of homes to choose from. Another reason why you should hire a realtor is because we have knowledge of the contracts. Contracts can be tough and extensive, so know that the real estate transaction involves a lot of paperwork, including contract, disclosures, and legal documents. An agent such as myself can assist you with handling the details to ensure that everything is completed correctly and on time. As a realtor, we have a large networking pool. Agents have connections with other professionals such as mortgage brokers, such as Paige from Bank South, home inspectors, and contractors. We can provide recommendations and facilitate interactions with these key players that you need, such as a home inspector when you need your home inspected after you put in your offer and the start of due diligence has initiated, and contractors who may need to come in to look over things that may be wrong with the home to get it up to code. Another reason why you should hire a realtor to assist you with your buying needs is to save time. Searching for buyers, scheduling showings, and managing all the details of the transaction can be time consuming. An agent such as myself can handle these tasks, saving you time and reducing your stress. Another reason why you should hire agents such as myself or a realtor such as myself is for emotional support. The process can be overwhelming, and it will be overwhelming for both sides of the transaction. An experienced agent such as myself, I've done this and I understand how to set expectations and keep tension at a minimum. As a realtor, my number one person who I'm looking out for during this entire transaction is my client. An agent such as myself puts your interest and well-being at the forefront of the process. All right, I want to thank you all for coming and taking time out to listen why you should hire an agent. If and when you're ready to start your purchasing process, make sure that you reach out to me. If and when you're ready, make sure that you reach out to me. You can DM me on Instagram at Amari the Realtor and set up a time so that we can have your buyer's consultation to figure out your real estate needs. Thanks. Talked about, we have a large networking pool of affiliated partners that we work with. One of the affiliated partners that we work with is Bank South. Here I have a senior mortgage lender, Paige Searbird, here to talk about all that you need to know about securing your mortgage and moving forward with the home buying process.
Hello everybody, and thanks for coming today. And I just want to start out by saying when I have a great realtor like Amari to work with, it makes my job a lot easier. So I really do appreciate her. Okay, I think what we're gonna start out today is what I have a lot of first-time home buyers concerned about, and that is the credit situation and kind of what do I need to get started with my credit and to feel good about getting ready to buy. The first thing that I tell people is, well, I can tell you on paper what you can afford, but what you need to do really before you even talk to me is sit down and think about your monthly budget and your comfort zone. What do you feel good? Because we're gonna see what you have to pay on a monthly basis, but we don't know that you know, if you have children that you're paying for a certain school or you're paying for, you know, baseball, whatever it may be. So you need to determine your monthly budget and what you feel like you can afford for a house payment so that we can kind of back into your purchase price. And then I always say, start saving now. It's never early to start saving because you're gonna need some money. We'll talk about down payment assistance in a little bit, but you're going to need some money for the transaction. You're gonna have to put a little bit into it at least, so you need to start saving up your money. And compare your mortgage payment that you're thinking about to the current rent as well. All right. So the next thing I encourage people to do, most people I talk to, for some home buyers, they're already doing this, is stay informed by checking your credit score. Now, most people are monitoring it by being on something like Credit Karma. That's one I'm personally most experienced with, but there's all kinds of things out there. And that just brings me to your folder. If you want to open it and take a quick look, there is a flyer in there. And for those of you that are online watching this, if you want to reach out, I can send the flyer to you. But it just talks about the difference between consumer scores and mortgage scores. And I won't really go into the nitty gritty, but just know that the scores that you're seeing when you go on Credit Karma, let's just say that you look out there and you see that, oh, I've got a 720 credit score. Well, when a client tells me that, I automatically subtract 20 points and I think to myself, you have a 700 for mortgage. And that's just because in the mortgage world, things are weighted differently. And that's really with any lender, they have to use the same scoring model. So the score that you see on Credit Karma or Experian or whatever you're looking at, that's more the score that you would have if you were gonna buy a car or get a credit card. But it's still a great way to monitor your credit and see if your score is going up and down and that kind of thing. So I do encourage it. And then if you want to get also, you're entitled to one free credit report a year on annualcreditreport.com. So you can pull that and see exactly if anyone else has pulled your credit. There's a lot of things that you can see, and you can also make sure that there's no fraud going on. Okay, so you need credit to build credit. I have a lot of people that will call me for some home buyers and they'll say, well, I don't ever use credit. Well, if you don't use credit, then you don't have a credit score at all. And if you only have one credit card and you never use it, you don't really have a score either, because creditors can't see that you're actually using your credit and get an idea of how you would handle it. So what I recommend is to try to have maybe like a store card or a gas card and a major credit card as well. And then if you feel like you don't want to use it very often, which I think that's great, use it, maybe put $10 a month, $25 a month, and pay it off every month. That is going to generate some really good credit for you. If you have a car payment, that's an installment loan. That's a really good way to get your credit up as well. So I encourage, you know, the installment loans, and you definitely, of course, want to pay them on time. Credit utilization, sorry about that, is a huge thing. So you want to make sure, if you can, if you have a credit card, that you are only using 30% of your available credit. That is how you're going to get your best credit score. Alrighty. Avoid late payments. I think everybody knows that one. And then understanding derogatory events. Derogatory events would be a collection, a charge off, anything like that. If you have them, please give me a call and let's talk about them and what you can do about them, or maybe how far out you need to be from them to buy. But the main thing you want to try to avoid is a derogatory event that would be considered a housing event. And that would be maybe a situation where you have a collection from some apartments that you were renting. Like you got in an argument and you may be totally in the right, but I've seen situations where there's been a discussion or an argument over a security deposit, and then those apartments will put a collection out there for someone. So give me a call and let's talk about some things. Whoops, I went too far. If you think you have some issues. And then stay away from credit repair schemes. Sometimes they tell you the wrong thing to do, and they just are basically about churning money, just making more money every month off you. If you do need a credit repair company, we have some really good legitimate ones that we recommend, and their goal is to get you ready to buy, so they're not going to scam you. I love to tell people about this. We have a rapid rescore, so if you think you're ready to buy and I pull your credit and it's a little low, we can look at maybe getting a rescore. That, let's see, I think 10 days is usually about how long it takes. It's usually done by paying down some debt. So sometimes it'll be, hey, could you pay this card down only $300 and we can get your score up 30 points. So it just really depends on what your situation is. And all this is to say, it's never too early to start. Give me a call. So now we're going to touch on a few of the home buying terms. I'm not going to go into all of them. Some of them are a little complicated, and it's not something that you need to know right now as a first-time home buyer. Let's start here with appraisal. Everybody in general, well, I won't say everybody, there are occasions when you don't need an appraisal, but most first-time home buyers will need to get an appraisal. And that's different from your home inspection, which Amari would handle. An appraisal is when the inspector goes out or the actual appraiser goes out and makes sure the home is worth what you are paying for it. Then you've got your closing costs, and that is typically what you have to pay to get the loan closed. You pay the lender, you pay the attorney, you pay taxes to the state of Georgia, and a lot of times first-time home buyers will not be aware that they are going to have to pay closing costs. So what I like to do with my first-time home buyers is just really give them a whole sheet, and line by line it breaks everything down. All right? Okay, let's go over a few more home buying terms. You have earnest money, and that's a really important one. When you go under contract, you are going to have to put a deposit down, and in the mortgage world, that's called earnest money. So it's usually about 1% of the purchase price, and you send that in the form of a wire usually, and either the usually the closing attorney will hang on to that. In some cases it is the real estate company, it just depends. So you need to be prepared to do that when you're looking for homes. You need to be prepared to do that within 3 days of going under contract, and that's another thing that the lender kind of makes sure of. Well, do you have the assets for that earnest money? All right, hazard insurance, that is just a fancy way of saying homeowner's insurance. You are going to shop for that yourself. If you know someone in the business or you like to use Progressive or Geico, you can get some quotes from there. We're going to give you an estimate that just shows what we think homeowner's insurance might be for a house about the price that you're thinking to buy, but you shop for that yourself. I missed fixed rate mortgage up there. That just is a 30-year fixed, meaning that you get an interest rate. It doesn't change the entire time you have the loan, and every month your principal and interest payment is going to be the same. A big one for first-time home buyers is mortgage insurance. Some people call that PMI, and that is the extra insurance that you pay when you don't put 20% down. And let me just say here that you do not need to put 20% down. A lot of first-time home buyers don't realize that. The minimum down payment for a conventional loan is 3%, and for an FHA government loan is 3.5%. So the next term I want to point out is principal and interest, and that is just your base payment. We just take your loan amount, we apply the interest to it, we take it over 30 years, it's amortized over 30 years, and that's the payment that's never going to change. Now the taxes and insurance can change, but the principal and interest payment is not going to change. Then, of course, unfortunately, you're gonna have to pay property taxes. Some people aren't prepared for how much that can be in any of the surrounding counties. And then you have your seller contribution, which is another reason you need a buyer's agent, because seller's contribution can be negotiated. And that is where you are gonna hope that the seller can pay some of your closing costs. So I highly recommend a buyer's agent because of that. Wire transfer, I won't go into that too much, but closing funds have to be wired. All right. 5 tips for new home buyers. It's really gonna be 6. Start out with Amari would be the first. Then start with the pre-qualification. At Bank South, we like to go ahead and completely underwrite our borrowers. So that would be start out with an approval. That's a much stronger letter that you can have, and it's easier to make, to get under contract with the seller. Consider your long-term goals. How long do you want to stay in the home? That would make a difference on the type of loan or the closing costs or the product that we might put you in. Understand your monthly payments. We talked about that. Credit score impacts everything. It impacts your rate, it impacts your PMI. So you definitely want to be watching the credit score like we talked about. And then down payment decisions as well. How much have you saved up? Do you need down payment assistance? What's the situation there? All right. This is just the very basics of the process. Mortgage consultation, it's never too early to do that. You can have an initial one a year before you want to buy, just so that you can spend that year getting ready. And then you can have another one right as you're ready, you think you're ready to start looking for houses. You make application. Once you're under contract, we're going to send you a bunch of disclosures online that are just required in our industry. And then we're going to order the appraisal. Next, your loan gets processed. We have underwriters. We'll have underwritten your loan once, but they're going to take another look at it now that you're under contract, review, and send out your closing disclosure so you know exactly to the penny how much money you need to bring to closing, and then the happy day of closing on. Here is a basic overview for what you need for your application. In general, because this can vary from client to client, you need 30 days of pay stubs for all current employers. You need the last 60-day statements for all the assets that you're planning to use. So if you have 2 or 3 accounts and you're going to be, pulling money from any one of those accounts, we need to see those. Copy of your driver's license. We're definitely going to need your W-2s. We may or may not need your tax returns. All right, here's just some quick do's and don'ts. Let me see if I could pay your bills on time. We talked about that. Keep copies of your pay stubs. You can probably get those online though. Oh, here's a big one. Don't quit or get another job during the process without talking to your lender first. It's not to say, I have had people get a new job during the process, but let's just talk about it to see what kind of job it would be. Maybe you need to wait until you close or something like that. You don't really want to change banks. That just makes it harder on you. Don't co-sign a loan for anybody or take out new credit. Don't buy a car once you're looking for a house or under contract, or apply for new credit. If we see that someone has pulled your credit, we're going to want to know if you have any new debt. And don't charge a really large amount on one of your existing cards. All right, this is just some great things about Bank South Mortgage. I'm just skipping over this. And here's my contact information again, in case you need to contact me soon.